On December 2, 2018, 22-year-old Grace Millane should have been celebrating her birthday. Instead, her phone went unanswered. The young British backpacker had seemingly vanished from the streets of Auckland, New Zealand. Her friends and family immediately raised the alarm. Within days, Grace's father, David, flew across the globe, pleading publicly for any information that could lead to his daughter's safe return. Local police started retracing Grace's final known movements. By pulling digital records and public surveillance feeds, they isolated her last physical location, a Tinder date at a local bar with a man named Jesse Kempson. On December 5th, officers arrived at the City Life Hotel. When Jesse spotted them in the lobby, he casually tried to stroll out the front door. Detectives intercepted him, and from the moment they read him his rights, he remained totally calm. In the interrogation room, Jesse sat down and began talking freely. He didn't ask for a lawyer. He thought he could outsmart the detectives by feeding them a carefully controlled timeline of the night. But he had no idea investigators had already assembled a tight web of surveillance and financial data. All they had to do was let him talk and slowly tighten the net. Jesse started by painting himself as a cautious participant. He claimed Grace was the one aggressively pushing to meet at a specific bar, insisting he only agreed because he was worried about catfishing and wanted security around. Detectives already had the Tinder chat logs. The transcripts showed the exact opposite. Jesse was the one relentlessly pursuing the date, pushing hard to get Grace to meet him. Then he offered up a highly specific alibi for his route home. He detailed a long walk down Victoria Street, giving turn-by-turn directions of how he supposedly headed toward the viaduct alone. The problem was the cameras. Investigators mapped his proposed route against hours of street-level footage. Not only was he entirely absent from the cameras he claimed to walk past, but alternate angles proved he deliberately walked in the opposite, far more evasive direction. The interrogators shifted their tone. They confronted him directly with the surveillance discrepancies. Jesse's confident posture cracked. His responses fractured into stutters, and he nervously asked if he was being arrested for a crime he didn't commit. By pinning him down on the mechanics of the date and his route home, detectives shattered his credibility early on. Now they had the leverage to attack the massive, violent omissions he was actually trying to hide. Jesse's ultimate defense for the morning after the date was total ignorance. He insisted he went to sleep, woke up alone, and assumed Grace had simply left the apartment. This diagram plots the timestamps of Grace's credit card transactions against Jesse's physical movements. The activity began hours after Jesse claimed Grace had already walked out of the hotel. The records showed a shopping list purchased with her stolen funds, a heavy-duty suitcase, and an array of industrial cleaning products. Following the trail of those purchases, police pulled the corresponding video feed from his floor's elevator. There was Jesse, captured on camera, wrestling that exact newly purchased suitcase out of his apartment on a luggage trolley. While Grace's body lay hidden in his room, Jesse went back on the Tinder app. He actually arranged and attended a date with another young woman that very same day, wearing the exact same clothes from the night before. During drinks, he steered the conversation toward a disturbing hypothetical scenario, actively asking his new date for advice on how someone might go about hiding a dead body from the police. Every time Jesse opened his mouth, the physical receipts and hard video evidence closed the gap. His vague timeline was entirely overridden by a minute-by-minute digital blueprint of his own cover-up. Back in the interrogation room, presented with the presence of blood in his apartment, Jesse took a desperate pivot. He claimed they engaged in consensual, rough intimacy inspired by the movie 50 Shades of Grey, and that Grace had died by accident while he was asleep in the shower. This was a highly calculated legal maneuver. By framing the death as an accident born out of mutual consent, his defense team aimed to drop the first-degree murder charge down to manslaughter. Investigators turned to the forensic metadata inside Jesse's cell phone, extracting his deleted internet history from the moments surrounding her death. The logs showed active Google searches for places to bury a body. Even worse, timestamps confirmed he had taken multiple photographs of Grace's body, both before and after he packed her into the suitcase. Someone waking up to a tragic accident might panic, but they do not stage a digital photo shoot of their victim. The metadata provided the objective evidence that his actions were methodical and intentional. Left with nowhere else to hide, Jesse finally confessed to the location of the body, leading authorities to a shallow grave deep within the Waitakere Ranges, just outside of Auckland.